So apparently, this is not as small of a deal as I thought. Getting 2 subscribers on YouTube, something crazy should have happened, right? Like a person with 200,000 subscribers would look into your channel and kind of categorize you as, well, in a dumpster. I am an obscure place of YouTube. I do have unusual content that probably Americans can't resonate with because they don't have time. They have to touch a lot of grass. There's plenty of things to do than just sit on the internet. They have to pump the content. I'm not sure, man. They have different kind of brains wired to probably see images on the screen instead of actually listening to a person, especially if I get review on my channel. This was not really a review of the channel. He was just like driving by and looking through the window and kind of getting the scoop of what I'm all about. And it wasn't that negative. You won't be able to actually find this. You have to look it through my Discord. And he didn't poke me himself. I had to scoop that shit up, that information, because the person was willing to give that to me. I mean, so basically, the way I imagine this thing to happen, there's a bus driver who just travels into shitty places in the world, but technically maybe it's a very cheap bus to drive, and then he lets a lot of people out if he finds something that he likes. You know, oh, here's some good garbage over there, and I was the good garbage that appeared in the very start of the video of the stream. I don't know if that's good or bad, because the video is unlisted and I still will not get full promotion, let's put it that way, because honestly, who cares about watching live streams? It's probably just a bunch of drunk people in the bus, alright, who don't know what the bus is for to begin with, and probably the bus driver has drunken himself of all the bad content that he found over the time. I mean, fantastic. I unfortunately for him, I do not have good things to say for him, because I do care about the vibes, alright? And if your thumbnails and even your name itself is bad vibes, unfortunately, I would press pass immediately. No, because I've already discussed the game of smash and pass. Pass is like the middle thing, right? The middle thing. But yeah, it's a pass. I'm not gonna dodge this guy because he still gave me an experience that I can appreciate. And if you are a subscriber, well, congratulations for joining in. Look, he only made this bump right here so insignificant that, I mean, wow. Congratulations. It didn't felt like a person with a lot of subscribers looking into my channel. Let me tell you that much. But it is a bump. It is a bump of subscribers, at least. It probably is a bump over time rather than immediately. But we're actually gonna see, you know, if I'm chatting with someone, maybe they're gonna watch my content event, but it's too hard to tell. Subscribers is just too hard to tell. You gotta take what you get. I don't know, bro. Yeah, so I just sit here, I analyze everything, I appreciate everything. Probably the weird experience that I got on the 5th day, which I talk about, looking through the peephole and seeing a person. I hope that's not from the bus, alright? That's a weird one. Because, yeah, I don't like weird things, and yeah, this what happens when bad vibes start looking into your channel all of a sudden. Whoever recommended me to this guy, I mean, that's cool. I appreciate the experience. Could have been a better loss of my virginity. I'm not gonna lie. Technically, I did not lost my virginity because it's not public, so I don't have to, unless he actually publishes the video. But he might actually be too embarrassed to do that, because I criticize everything and everyone. I'm trying to survive on YouTube in a completely different dimension, basically, on a completely different scale. I have to be under control of everything that happens, pretty much. This is, again, like, we're gonna watch the part, alright, where he features me. And then we can continue talking. So, let's watch it on YouTube. As I've said, this guy features me in the very, very beginning of the video. No introduction, nothing. He's not prepared for anything. He's just diving in completely blindly. It's just a suggestion from people. I mean, it's not unexpected to do that. It's just kind of weird, the way it transitions, you know?
What the hell is this one? Oh god, I don't even remember what a lot of this is. What the hell is this? I don't even, like, this must have been like a month ago or something. Somebody recommended that I look at this channel.
Month ago?
And I don't even know what's going on here.
A month ago. So a month ago is when I was making YouTube Rewind. It was December. Yeah, special time. And I'm not sure what I was doing exactly. That's why you need more context most of the time. It's very useful. But this guy can do whatever, so that's fine.
Gurunext, YouTube CEO. And I guess he's got like Hearthstone videos and also Mr. Beast hater.
I love it that he's like struggling to even like find things. Like, oh, I see Mr. Beast face. Wow. I see Hearthstone. I know what that is. Wow. At least he found the correct video to click on. So basically, it feels like there's 12 options, and it's like, oh, there's that one where I introduce myself. Why should you subscribe, basically? And he doesn't watch the whole thing, obviously. He's, again, it gives me those American vibes where an American has to like experience things on like a fast pace. Like they can't just sit around. They gotta keep moving always. They gotta have a car and keep moving, otherwise they're in trouble. And honestly, like, oh, that's another view into reality. But if you send me crap, if you send me shadow people who fucking starting to get a hold on my apartment and where I live, and they think they're not gonna be thrown into space, I mean, good luck. It's not America, guys. It's a little bit different place, and I'm saying just completely different dimension, because you have to be in completely different mindset when you're watching content like mine. I'm sorry, bro. So I don't know if I want to react to most stuff he does. Besides, you know, you have to take care of your thumbnails, so to speak, because that's where he pretty much spent most of the time. He clicked on one video and just kind of scooped the thumbnails a little bit, which is, you know, acceptable, and that's why it matters, you know. The first thing that I found is Onision. That's the only thing that I'm attached to. I do know this guy, but I don't watch his content. And, yeah. Actually, before he introduces my channel, he also talks about, like, let's hope we're not gonna bump into a lot of murders or something like that. There's some shady stuff he says about the sweet spot. I'm gonna get the vibe there as well. Yeah, but you know, if he's watching right now, like I suggest him to like drive somewhere else, cause some gameplay. Okay, that's fine. You know, you don't want to stick around with bad vibes. In fact, people actually noticed something that he didn't notice, which is me featuring Selena a bunch. And, yeah. I need source of good vibes. And then this lady, I guess, with the terrible name, says, oh, Selena Gomez is very pretty or something. I have the comment right here. Collab with him. Amazing, isn't it? Where is it? Right here. He's beautiful. So proudful to get this comment. It's mine though, because Selena would never find it. So that's cool. And that's you know, the things you have to do as a fan. I'm just saying. All right.
Videos and school. Wow, these are like long podcast type. These are fucking long. He's going for the watch time.
Going for the watch time. The idea behind it, obviously, is you click on whatever you decide. All right. There's a lot of choices, but and it's gonna be probably a while tried on either one of these because it's just completely unusual, and you know, can you survive that ride? And tell me about it. Will you actually appreciate it? It's quite a big question because, you know, it's so rare for people to watch the entirety of the video. It's so rare. But you can make a different choice and scoop around a little bit, but you're gonna see, like, it's very difficult to do that, because without commitment, you would just not understand what I'm talking about. It's just impossible. Also, people actually noticed that I'm using voice mod, and I pitched myself down a little bit. And that I'm Eastern European, based on my accent as well. Like, these are some crazy powers people have, just being able to kind of sense who the person is and what he's presenting, what kind of layers I put on top of myself. I even, like, you know, find it fascinating when people are like figuring out what's CGI or not. For me, it's a blur. I don't care. I don't care what CGI is and when it is presented to me, but people seem to feel the difference, basically, and yeah, it's quite a superpower. I don't know if it's useful, though, but probably very useful in America, okay, where you have to, like, think fast and type a comment fast. Absolutely. This is a funny... I want to clip that, too. Susan's private channel absolutely is, man. She cannot actually have a real channel, so she has a private one, and she talks like a dude now. Absolutely. That's the whole point.
Metrics. Ludwig?
Actually, his name is Ludwig. It's kind of cringe that he mispronounced it, but it's kind of cute. Did he never see some good parts of YouTube? I mean, it is upsetting a little bit.
Is this like a video essay? Wow, he makes a fucking ton of what is this shit?
I love this. Obviously, then he realizes, like, it's not that good. It's just me rambling, basically. I'm trying to, like, make my mind on a lot of things and observe a lot of things. This is a lot of work, and I can't do anything else. Like, I'm not very passionate about video editing, and probably even if I edit my videos, it would just get me into a lot of trouble and stuff that I don't want to deal with. I mean, again, it's a different dimension, it's a different lifestyle entirely, and you wouldn't understand what my passions are, what kind of environment feeds me, what kind of behavior, basically, that I'm stuck into. Unless you somehow empathize, and that's cool, or understand the culture of internet, I try to kind of vibe with that a little bit. But yeah.
Is this just some guy rambling? Here's 30 reasons why you should subscribe to...
It's not particularly rambling because he even, like, acknowledged that, wow, it's pretty cool to have, like, a Discord where I just type in, my kind of arguments, my, thoughts about something that I'm trying to break down, basically. So, it's not your typical rambling, unfortunately. You know. But he kind of moves on really fast because it's probably not garbage enough. Well, no. It has to, you know, be moving imageries and all that stuff. It's very difficult to actually go from rambling to the next level. I mean, what do I do? Once there's AI generation, maybe I can take a hold of that and give you guys some weird imagery. But that shit has to grow out of nowhere, you know. And has to be able to read my voice. And the first thing that's going to happen is not imagery, is subtitles. I need subtitles too. So I'm waiting on a lot of AI technology potentially. I'm gonna be hanging around and improving myself based on what the world offers me, right? And the biggest improvement, obviously, is being able to actually reach out to other creators and potentially, well, judge them, because I do better judgment than this guy does. Alright. This guy can, again, just drive through and look at the crappy craps. And cry about how smelly that shit is. You know. It doesn't look like he's interacting with the chat necessarily. I've read the entire chat. This is only 4 minutes of you know, looking into my channel. Well, maybe you can see 5.
This channel. Alright.
Thank you for discovering my channel.
You're welcome.
Here's why you should subscribe.
Reasons to subscribble. Infinite content.
I love it that in the end he actually says subscribble, so he's like, it's very, very sticky stuff. Like, a YouTuber wouldn't want to dive into my content because this shit is like super sticky. In your head, it's just gonna, you won't be able to forget my videos. I'll tell you that much. And that's kind of an interesting point, right? That's probably the most enticing thing you can say to Americans. Like, yeah, my videos is just me rambling, but you know what? It's weirdly enticing to the point you will not be able to forget whatever you clicked on if you just complete the whole thing. I think that's the vibe, but I would have to double check it, obviously. Just, you know.
More haters. I take care of my thumbnails. I'm ugly and poor. Oh, don't be mean, man.
I can be mean to myself, especially when, it's not like I'm self-deprecating. This is literally just how I feel. Poor is pretty accurate as well. I mean, I don't really have real resources to survive and even connect to people. Like, that is really feels bad moment, okay? And, but, yeah, it feels good, right? And maybe ugly is a little bit too far-fetched, but not as far-fetched as you think. Maybe my face is not ugly and I can actually show my face, but then my behavior is just completely unacceptable and people would start picking that apart. And that also just creates a lot of reasons why I don't want to do any sort of self-recording whatsoever. It is just a big distraction. Putting a bare face on the screen, maybe not the biggest distraction, as long as the thing that you put on the screen actually has emotional value, like can actually project some kind of emojis. So I wouldn't just jump on this kind of idea either, you know.
I have too
I I could take a look if the Unity supports transparency, basically. Transparent panels, so all this white could just disappear and I could have a little emoji pop out, and then I could control the how many buttons you see and all that stuff. That would be very, very useful. It's just, it sounds very complicated at the same time. And once I click on YouTube, this thing has to stay on top, so it's very complicated. But I would love to have, like, you know, something that would represent me and have different emotions or whatever I feel. Like, at least 4 different emotions I could click on. Or maybe 8. You know, double click on emotion, you get a more extreme version of that. It sounds pretty cool. Again, I'm not a streamer. Streamers know a little bit more about this stuff, but I only know how to use Unity, and I'm probably just gonna stick with that for now.
much time on my hands and too much knowledge. I am not stuck on one particular thing. Right. He has vidIQ and Opera GX. And he helps more people than Mr. Beast. This is like a... This is... I mean, I don't know.
Obviously, after that has been said, this is more of a joke thing, obviously, but you can't just take it without the idea of truthfulness to it. You must understand that influencers are not necessarily actually helping people out. It's quite fascinating that you give money to one person and other people lose money that they need. Finally, a relatable YouTuber. I'm not sure what it's reacting to. Most likely to I'm ugly and poor. Very relatable. And honestly, I think that's the idea. And yeah, I want to be relatable in exactly that way, where people don't feel overpowered when talking to me, because I will come down to their level and respect them to their, well, not necessarily to their level, but kind of to their level, because, like, if you give me bare minimum of respect, that's what you're gonna receive back. It's just very tit-for-tat type of behavior that I possess. Alright? The principle. Whatever you invest is gonna be the return. Just straightforward. Maybe you're gonna get some extra return but, over time, right? And you'll have to figure that shit out yourself. It's kind of like, you know, trading is about exchanging equal value, but the thing that you receive, you'll probably value it a little bit more. Just like if you buy a smartphone, it's crazy valuable if that's the only smartphone you buy for like 3 years. Like, it's the craziest value of all time if you have to use it all the time. For me, the craziest value is obviously my PC, which I asked my friend to give it to me. So it's definitely worth more than 300, 400 bucks, right? But that's I'll have to get back to him if he needs to be rewarded in some kind of way, but I have to grow bigger and actually have something to offer, afterwards.
I believe it. I believe
There's
it.
30 reasons.
30 whole reasons.
Well, technically, I have a unique personality and all that, so there's 30 unusual traits that I have that you might be interested in. So, let me help you. Opera GX is not my choice just because I'm a gamer. I actually don't use any of the gamer features. It's just this is the best feature, and that's where it kind of ends. But the most important feature besides that is obviously just the performance. Just the idea that they care about performance is good enough. But jumping from Firefox to Opera GX is such a big change in the way your computer is. Well, it stopped crashing. My computer just stopped crashing. Isn't that fantastic? And this thing runs pretty smoothly so far. No complaints. And if it doesn't run smoothly, I can check exactly what's going on. Here, I can clean things up a little bit, I guess. But most importantly, here I can see exactly which website uses how much. Like this crazy, man. This crazy when it comes to performance is gonna be clean. And this is the most valuable thing. It's not whether my data goes somewhere. I don't want my data to get mishandled, obviously. I don't want things to be stolen from me. That would be concerning. Hopefully that's not that easy to get away with. But other than that, it's just two ultimate features, nothing to do with gaming necessarily. I, for some reason, need performance when I do YouTube stuff, alright, and play card games. I still need performance. Still had problems with Firefox on that front. It's kind of fascinating. You get familiar to my style of content and me as a person. I have pretty much infinite content. It's quite scary to even click on a single video. 2 hours long usually is what I aim for. But button craft now, so.
I mean, but content isn't like just talking, about. I mean, do you have like, I mean, what is this about?
This video is not sponsored by a stupid comment, but we definitely gonna use that. Yes, finally, schools are bullshit, but not in the way that you think, potentially, so,
Promo
I'll have
no
to break
homo.
it down a little bit further than that. They haunt my dreams. I mean, you can see the chapters without clicking on description, but that's fine.
So, okay, so this guy like, this is actually interesting. I mean, he uses his like Discord.
And this is where the flip of the script happens, technically.
As like a scratch pad to just sort of throw in video notes for his next project or whatever. That's kind of fun.
It's a weird way to put it, but it's fine just saying notepad, I believe, to take notes while I make the video or before I make the video and all that stuff. And organize everything is really, really useful for that. I mean, definitely Discord is basically a core of everything I do, and even my source of sanity in a way. It just kind of kick-started my whole thing. Like, it just started with Discord. And eventually I just build up self-confidence and ego and all that stuff. I mean, it's fascinating because it's kind of like different where other people start. People just kind of like want to be YouTubers and they just start making videos. For me, it's completely different. I wanted to get to know people first, and then I realized, oh, I have to like participate in this internet culture thing, and that's because, all celebrities just use YouTube, and I'm like, well, immediately enticed to actually become a YouTuber that way, and it's just like the most natural thing ever. Uh, I'm kind of fascinated by it myself. I don't know. It is
I should try doing that, honestly, where it's just like, hey, you know, here's just a public thing where you can see what I'm working on.
It's not exactly what I've been doing, just allowing people to see things that I'm working on. But yeah, uh, it's also a very very good idea. Uh, if you're doing live stream content as well, it's kind of like priming people and all that stuff. It's kind of cool. I'm not sure how he would do it though. With the audience and stuff. It's quite a mystery to me.
You can see whatever shit I'm complaining about in my new video about.
But the most important thing is like once you master like the emoji stuff properly, then yeah, you can express yourself quite easily and more permanently, more long term. People will remember those sort of ideas if you do it properly on Discord. Before you make a video, I don't know. I don't know how he would do it, to be honest. I'm just happy to inspire someone to look at Discord differently, but it goes way deeper than that, because again, Discord is pretty much the thing that, well, like, most people use Discord to just chat with each other, and there's not much else to it, but there's so much more to it. Alright, there's so much more to it. Even the chatting part is very, very complicated. Especially once you add a little bit of anarchy, where authorities cannot just strictly ban everyone for breaking rules. I think it's one of the shittiest things to do. That kicked me out of a bunch of Discord channels for no good reason. But, being unreasonable is just the way of life right now.
About dying in video games or something.
This problem. That's kind of weird. Skulls haunt my dreams.
You can see all of my Seinfeld notes before I publish them. It's gonna be big.
Yeah, I don't understand none of these references that he's making. What is he so excited about? So it is a little bit, hit and miss, I would say. When he just picked up my idea and just like, that's kind of cool. But we're finally doing it. Maybe we can solve the problem. Like,
so he actually writes these in real time. All right.
Again, at least like 1 out of 4 dreams.
I like that this channel is called Titcock. That's good.
I just flipped 2 letters, dude. It's not a big deal.
We also got the sweet spot up here. Knowing what I know of Discord, that's concerning, but alright.
Yeah, so he says it's concerning, but it's not. It's not really. Titcock is a lot more concerning because, there's girls in there. You click and you find girls. Then, yeah. Probably gonna be privated at some point, because I don't want to share that shit. Who shares porn these days, man? And TikTok is a softcore, pretty much, where nothing really happens, but like a lot of predators go there, allegedly. I don't care to go that deep. I mean, at some point, if people can share videos, something like that will happen on that platform. And whether it's going to be cleaned up or not is another question. But, yeah. Oh, Discord is for that. No, it's just, it's not Discord's fault, it's like the people's fault. And, well, your fault for going to weird Discords, because I haven't bumped into, nonsense, sexual nonsense. I've seen a little bit of that being available on some Discords. And for me, it's just like, well, that's cool. I get to see boobies for some reason. It's just, I don't like random nonsense. I like to connect to people, even if it's just one-sided, and mostly it's one-sided, and it's completely fine. That's how trees work. They root. They put roots in, and it's completely one-sided versus the earth itself. Alright? The earth does not root into the tree back. Alright, so one-sided relationships completely fine. But potentially, once I connect to the actual ecosystem of the world, my world will change significantly, the way that I describe myself. Because already, like, the world is changing, and just this guy bumping into my channel, all of a sudden, just, I felt the impact, and it's still not as big as I thought. It's so crazy. As I thought it would be. No, I'm not, it's not clear what is happening here, right? Just 7,000 views. Why is he, privating unlisting most of his lives? What is going on? What does he choose to feature on his channel? There's plenty of questions. I probably don't want to answer none of them. I'm not a fan just yet, and I don't know what to click on when the only person that I'm familiar with is Onision. I'm completely confused. There's no place to start, let's put it that way. If you click on the most popular stuff, Pamper Chew, oh man. The cringe overload, basically. The worst YouTube chef. I do not appreciate disgusting material. I just do not. Some teacher gives us an assignment, and I basically woke up because my teacher did not like the paper that I submitted, which I don't give a fuck. Alright? But she comes with... It's a cringe introduction, unfortunately, for this video, and sometimes I just don't really care about introductions, which is still a bad, it's a bad habit. Despite having like a cool looking thumbnail, I trash my introduction. Not sure how to improve that just yet. Sometimes I just like jump in and it works for me emotionally, but you look back and it's kind of cringe. So in this case, I don't like the way I introduced the whole thing necessarily. It feels a little bit slow and immediately out of touch because I start talking about the dream and specific things that happen in the dream, and it's just like very difficult to follow. I believe. It's like, oh, there was a teacher, and I submitted a paper, and then she didn't like it, and that was the kind of the dream part that I remember. That would be a lot better, and it's still very shit. Alright, way to start the whole thing. But it was something that bothered me at that time when I talked about schools are bullshit. Because I have to dream about it very, very often. It's so painful. It's like, what is my brain trying to communicate with me? Because, like, it's kind of weird. It's probably not the brain part. Because we have psychic abilities. Why not? No, I believe that too. with all this authority, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna judge people.
What?
Yeah, that was his reaction. The what? And it kind of hurts, you know. But I can't. I should be preparing myself at least a few points the first day. We'll figure it out over time. It takes so much work to make sure that everything is super duper clean. And people know what the fuck I'm gonna be talking about. You gotta get familiar with the points, and then sit back and relax. We'll figure out. It's a lot of work, man, to observe yourself. And now, like, from other people's perspective, I can't really observe myself by myself. I know I will find things, but it's not gonna be as clear, you know. But using other people's perspective is also a double-edged sword, simply because you don't really know them, and you don't always want a stranger watching your videos necessarily, but it's still a good place to start for me, because there's absolutely like no reason for people to click on my videos. So a stranger is the level of a personality I'm gonna be working with.
Okay, so if you just like skip past the rambling, 25% of my dreams are kind of ruined because it's all about school. That's point number 1, everybody. Number 2, society is supposed to give you what you want as long as you know how to use it. I'm sure these make more sense if we listen to the rambling, but I mean, this is a 2-hour video.
Society. This toxic guy. Yeah, because society is probably quite a trigger word for a lot of people. Teachers suck right now, fellow kids. That's the vibe they're trying to pick up, but I don't think it's gonna work. Also, why is he quoting that thing? I guess he's trying to... I don't know. He has to say the vibe. Here's the vibe, but like, I don't know. I understand, but it's not as clear. So I don't say that teachers suck, no. He has authority to judge how bad my schoolwork is. No, she does not have authority over that, because schoolwork doesn't actually matter in life. That's the whole point. It's very basic stuff. They just played the role of authority, and they judge you on some weird things that you're not attached to emotionally whatsoever. Most of the time, all that schoolwork is just completely pointless to you. You don't know why you're doing it. If you're not emotionally attached to something, getting judgment on that thing means just does no impact to your life whatsoever. Zero impact, zero damage, nothing to recover from. Obviously, it's fine because you have to go to school every fucking day, and you would be scared to go to school if people actually judged you. Like, you're more scared of other people judging you than your teacher judging you in school most of the time. Just, you're scared of the society, the ultimate trigger word. Something people can't really handle and comprehend. Society is not, like, fully functional. It's still pretty broken. There's still plenty of things to improve, but we're so close to, like, a very good definition of how society works. Like, it's pretty fantastic. Wait, what? He fixed the word how, but, oh, that one. Yeah, that one's a scary one. Alright. How many servers is he a part of? I don't know what he's asking, to be honestly. To be honest, right? What is this guy asking for? Because, this is my server, and I don't really go to other Discord servers whatsoever. And these are not servers, but channels, so I'm not... I don't think I don't think he's mixing that thing up. A lot of rambling, but yeah, like, what? If you just transcribe this stuff, it would be rambling, guys. You're submitting and stacking a bunch of rambling. Especially when the YouTuber you're rambling onto doesn't actually care. It's a stack of rambling. It's probably even worse because it doesn't have a theme. It's just completely random stuff that someone at some point could use. Like me. I very much appreciate that. But I think most of it turns into garbage. Yeah. It would be funny if the bus he's driving is creating more garbage and toxic waste than the actual garbage itself. Just sitting there in the middle of nowhere. Which is how I feel. I do feel like I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm disconnected from society. And it's kind of painful, I'm not gonna lie.
Holy shit. Oh my, he's got so many points. Oh, this is wild. All right, well, you know, this guy's got infinite content, everybody. If you want to find content, this guy, you know, maybe you like him. I'm not even saying... I think he's kind of got some cool ideas. Maybe he's got some interesting stuff here.
Maybe,
maybe
boys.
check him out. Throw him on in the background while you're playing Hitman Freelancer. Oh, by the way, somebody asked why Hitman 3 isn't working. Let me tell
I don't know, guys. I don't know, but people figured out that I'm actually Lithuanian and all that stuff. I don't know how, bro.
Let me rant for a moment
really
about
don't.
how fucking broken Hitman Freelancer is. They
Well,
introduced this like...
I will not
I've been
let
waiting
you
to get
rant.
that out of my system. Let's see. I wish that the VR mode worked with it. I mean, maybe it does.
It was like the ending.
I wish I could set up PSVR.
He's still talking about
being
Hitman.
A giant fucking nightmare. More accurately, but you know, that's that.
What's with this dude's obsession with Selena Gomez? You'll never know. You will never know, boys.
That's beside the point. So that was Gurunext, you know. Go check him out. Give him a subscribble if you want to have some infinite content. He looks like he's got some interesting stuff to say. I don't know. He has very many topics that he covers. So there's got to be something in there.
Yeah. He's keeping an eye out for Selena, absolutely.
Let's take a look at Christian Video Vault.
So it's yeah. This guy, that's the farewell message. Oh, he's from Lithuania. How did they figure all this stuff out really fast? What are the clues that they're looking at? It's crazy, bro. Have someone like looked into my channel potentially? And that just says that I'm from Lithuania? I don't know, bro. Yeah, it does. Alright, that was simple enough. Okay. So someone just looked it up. That's cool. I don't actually like giving out my location. That's kind of bad stuff, but if people care too much, they will get the answers anyways. It's not a big deal. I will still double think if I want to hide it or not. Because, you know, bad things could start happening just out of nowhere, just because it's so fucking stupid sometimes. And that's it. I've been featured for, well, technically 6 minutes, but a lot of it is not directed at me, as these I've heard him talking about Hitman 3 and stuff like that. Hitman 3 cameo, exactly. Very nice. Is that PewDiePie? Why would it be PewDiePie? He doesn't exist anymore. It would be crazy. He retired, remember? It's crazy. Who would talk about PewDiePie? It's crazy, dude. So, yeah. I think that's it, kind of. But there's more to it, right? So, he himself, again, didn't poke me, and it's actually quite bad behavior that he's showing off, because he's missing that one key point. Alright, he's a big-ass YouTuber. All he has to do is just send a little bit of an emoji or a copy pasta. It's like, I checked your channel or something. He needs to have that, because it's very disrespectful to look into people's channels and not let them know that you know that, just establish some basic human connection instead of just driving past and not giving a fuck, but still allowing, to say to your audience, it's like, well, subscribble if you want. Obviously, you don't want to do that, but, yeah, he just goes past. Maybe I'm the only one who cares and it's not a common behavior, but it just would be a nice little thing that he has to do. Just drop his copy pasta. Especially if the channel is like ridiculously small like mine. Mine is probably like the smallest channel, and yet it still has been picked up. I cannot really verify that. Because it's just too difficult. And it's not like he actually features the channels either. That's not working out for some reason for him. It's not very professional stuff, I'm not gonna lie. There's just some common things you have to do, basically, to be able to catch up and make chapters too. When you jump from one channel to the other, so it's very easy to navigate as well. Yeah, so chapters and just poke the channel owners. That's it. That's all I'm asking as a YouTube CEO, obviously. But because we have a little bit of time, maybe we can click on the Onision stuff. He says that it's the most pathetic man, and I have to defend him now. Simply because I can. Onision is not the most pathetic person. Hopefully. It's not like I like Onision, and I certainly have to take my pick now, because, do I like a person that just drove by and said somewhat nice things and gave me 2 subscribers? Or do I defend a person that potentially can give me way more than that? Alright, because I like Onision so much more. I appreciate him as a person who is just simply struggling with a lot of drama. Most of it is his fault, obviously. But it could be, you never know until you try and help a person, of whether they appreciate the help and they just come out of all the nonsense that they have been dumped into and buried under a lot of trash, basically, just because there's a bunch of heartless people on the internet. It's so sad to see. I don't want to trash Onision. Especially when the only aware person, I define people differently, right? I assign them colors. The only aware person comes from Onision Discord. Alright, I scooped her up. And it's tremendous, to have a connection like that. So, but, same goes to this guy who gave me a person that potentially could do some cool things. Like, that's a cool dude, but he has to hang around for a little bit longer, obviously. And maybe change a few things about himself, maybe fix his life goal that I actually asked for. There's a lot of there's a lot of work, and he's young. He's like, if you catch that, but like, don't worry about people's age. It's kind of cringe to have too much information about people. You have to focus on the things you can actually fix and things you can actually work on. Age is pretty good to know when you're assessing which level are people at, how whether to be like careful with them because they're just barely scratching the surface of adulthood, and defining how life works is quite scary for a lot of people to just face reality. And you have to be very careful whatever you say, like respectful to like young people, so you don't traumatize them. Like every single move could be a wrong move. I mean, it's crazy. But so if someone is actually underage, I wouldn't really know what to do at first. I probably need to actually develop a strategy for that. Like create a playground separate from the home chat for people who are just gonna be adults at some point. So they don't feel like they need to participate in the main stuff, because it's very difficult to comprehend any of it. You know. In a way, I actually have a playground already. I believe the random server is filled with underage people. That's the vibe, but we'll get to that as well. So, this guy is bringing up a lot of attention to a lot of problems to solve. That's very nice. I should respect him and give him a full name. Deadwing. Funny enough, there's a card in Hearthstone called Deathwing. I don't know where he got the name, but it's a shitty name if it's not Deathwing. Deathwing is a little bit cool, then it like incinerates all the garbage on the board potentially. That's cool, but you also have to sacrifice your entire hand to do that. And it's also a dragon card, so he is so close in activating a dragon card with his name alone. Isn't that cool? But close is not good enough. Close, unfortunately, is just not good enough, because dead and death is completely different meanings, unfortunately. So I'm gonna watch this video and see what I think. It is annoying to be a part of something called So Much Garbage, and not be able to stand out in any way, right? But that's fine. At least I'm the first on the list somehow. I don't know how that worked out. I don't want to be squeezed. Maybe I'm the most fresh garbage, so I'm on top of the pile. I don't know what's going on. I really like just meaning of everything, so maybe I'm looking too deep into it, but it's kind of cute. So we're done with that. Let's check this video out. 3 years ago, so I can't really judge this person still for his opinions on Onision, especially when the Onision drama was like maybe 2 years. We'll see what he's talking about. I actually don't know. Beating a dead cow. Eventually, he just after this part 3, I believe it's the last part of talking about Onision. Yeah. It's a little sad that all he has is just one emoji, but that's what people sometimes have to work with. You know. It is, the biggest recommendation is, for me, is like, ask people, if you at least have 100,000 subscribers, you can already ask people to contribute ideas, images, all sorts of things. Even like if you're willing to change the channel name, ask them for that as well. all these things you have to start requesting people because you want to look more professional. You want to get to that next level of YouTube. So I believe now you have to look and respect the audience and what they want, what they see within your channel, that it could actually make some small tweaks and it would change everything, basically. It's very much a possibility, especially my greatest tweak of all time. Pick up a title, alright? / title. What is your title, my friend? People need to know, your self-identities, like, not your pronouns. Punch those people in the face, but they have a point. An identity is pretty useful thing to have. But it has to identify what are you working towards, alright? Not your sexual attractions, but what are you working towards? So me being YouTube CEO is kind of like set in stone. It's the first title ever invented. It's very difficult to actually invent a title, an idea like this, where it's like, oh, you just type in some extra things next to your name, but no one did it. Show me that someone actually did that thing. I mean, it's probably the rarest thing right now on YouTube, and most definitely, no one typed in a YouTube CEO. Even the YouTube CEO itself does not have a title of any kind. And this stuff is like even more valuable than the name itself sometimes. For me, it definitely is. Alright? So, those are my suggestions to this guy, if he still cares, to look back and be like, wait, the garbage has thrown a fucking monster on my bus, and now is tearing the bus apart. Oh, yes. I know how to do that too. Magic, guys.
Groundbreaking and innovative.
His voice constantly changes. Like, I looked into a video 2 years ago, but this is the sexiest version of his voice ever.
YouTube content. I've decided to exploit somebody's name for.
This is really cool, man. I hate the fact that voice matters, but like this one is the best one if I had to choose. I don't know how he degraded so fast into nonsense. I have to just double check on how it sounds on the latest video. It sounds
these things and crack it open.
You can hear like more echoey,
they
right?
can be used day and night. Well, that's good. You can. I mean, I can use it
for views. It's pretty unprecedented stuff. You might want to.
I want the sexy one, man.
I can hang out with my.
I don't want to feel like there's echo going on. It's like it's not like an echo thing, but yeah.
Pet rock day and night too, bro. And our easel.
It's like it's loud, but it's annoying. I have to take care of my voice. If I could just click one button to improve my voice, I would. Alright, the only thing I know how to do is trigger people because my voice is pitched down. But that's how I feel it should sound in reality. Maybe 45, but a little bit pitched down. Simply because, there's this scientific thing where your voice sounds lower to you when you listen to yourself. Potentially, not a lot of people talk to themselves, but I have to talk to myself a lot, and I want to hear, like, somewhat authentic voice that I put out. I want to hear myself when I hear myself, okay? Like, fully immersive experience, guys.
The immediate thing that I'm getting is that this poor man doesn't realize that he's no longer 18.
That is so correct, dude. that cracked me up real bad. Oh my god. Yeah, Onision is probably missing all the girl attention. There's probably like, bored girls of like, oh, now I'm stuck with Onision. That's the only YouTuber I know. Now I have to chat in the Discord. It's so stupid. That's probably how girls feel. Because there's a lot of girls. If you want to scoop in some girls, man, probably gonna get a handful if you go to Onision Discord, but you have to pay for it now, so it's... Also, congratulations, Deadwing. You got 100 points. That's cool. It took a long time to actually generate that, but we got there, guys. We did it. It's a great achievement of humanity.
Email that I got with
Oh my god, this is next level, bro. This is funny. I'm just 1 minute in. I'm fucking rolling in the deep, man. I don't know, bro. I definitely have to subscribe for 2 reasons, obviously. Making me laugh is I lose. I just lose. You have to follow PewDiePie's rules, after all. And obviously I need to make sure that he... If he releases a video about me or something like that, if he reacts to this video, you know, like, the usual. The usual, stay on guard, because it could really impact my channel, and I don't know if I can handle the impact. You know, it's a weird one. So, I have to put up some guards, just in case.
Video. Those of you who don't know who Onision is yet, do
Oh,
you like him?
Well, the video did not trigger me, so that's cool. But I don't know how I would react if I didn't know who Onision is. Like, you don't really get to like strangers, like, what's the point? And you don't get to like men. I actually made a very peculiar discovery. I think this is true statement. Men are repulsive. Women are attractive. And yeah, it's weird. Like, oh, but aren't women supposed to be attracted to men? Well, you know what is actually happening? They are attracted to the least repulsive men out there. But most, like, good men and, like, nice guys are actually quite repulsive for women. They're scared of, like, getting too deep into a relationship and knowing that the man is actually going to care about the relationship quite a bit. And maybe even be willing to sacrifice himself and all that stuff. It's quite nasty stuff to think about, because women get to choose, right? So they have to figure out what is the most repulsive thing they can actually handle. Because the least repulsive thing, all women just flock into that shit, alright? They see someone on YouTube, they have subscribers, they have money or whatever, they look handsome, it's the least repulsive thing, let's fucking go for that shit. But that's too easy, alright? You want to play easy mode for women, it's like, congratulations. I technically go for the most attractive women, but only because I don't have options, unfortunately. I literally don't have options. I technically go for everything. There's a rat moving. If it's a girl, I'm a little bit attracted, not gonna lie. Maybe if I kiss it, it turns into a princess. I don't know, bro. I don't know how reality works anymore. We have some psychic abilities. It could happen. It's just crazy. So men are supposed to be lovable, and women useful. So another feature, repulsive, attractive, somewhat very different sides. But the weird thing is, like, oh, women are not supposed to be lovable? No, that's the whole point of attractiveness, is they're kind of like shitty on the inside, reprogrammable, fixable. There's a lot of problems that they have. The only problem that they're trying to solve is to be attractive, and most of the time that's just it. Express themselves maybe in a song, maybe have ability to actually even make money sometimes, which is crazy. But, you know, we're talking about most women here, and that's what most women do. Everyone else is just a goddamn unicorn, a special case, and still not really far off from just being attractive, and that's all they, strive for. So what is that quality turn into? Well, it turns into usefulness. It's like, well, there's a human being, basically. You can actually make another human being with that woman that you have captured, basically. But if you find better uses for this human being, and also you have to treat her properly so she doesn't just leave you because she feels bad, you know. But that's the way you have to think about women. Now, you have one, congratulations. What are you going to do with it? Alright? What are you going to do? You better appreciate it, you better respect it. It's the way you're going to keep her. But other than that, you have to, like, squeeze all that value and prove that she is, in fact, useful to you. And you want that connection with a person who really doesn't have that many skills to offer to begin with. Just a person that could just be around and potentially, like, turn attractiveness into something else as well. It's a very weird dynamic, right? Very weird puzzle you have to solve. And men have to be lovable because a lot of men, again, are ridiculously repulsive, but they have to be willing to change. To be able to, you know, project good vibes all of a sudden, that they're actually happy, that they have a relationship that is starting to fix them and reintroduce them back to society, because a lot of men are so repulsive they actually repel themselves from society. They can't stand it being normal anymore. And but they're still normal because they're men. It's a normal thing to be rejected from societies or be hidden from society. It's such a weird thing to live through, but it's very dangerous too. That shit's ridiculously dangerous. My child is crying. I was expecting 3K views. All good. Expectations into cryification. That's what's going on. And the final part, men have to be ready to give up their nonsense, and women have to be ready to start some. Maybe I'm not exactly sure about women, but men have to make crazy sacrifices when they get into a relationship. Again, as I've said, changing those bad vibes into good vibes is a transition, and it's terrifying for a lot of people. If even one celebrity comes down and is like, oh, let's have a relationship, my life would change tremendously, or would start changing tremendously, and I have to be able to, like, sustain that transition, because it's a roller coaster of another level completely. It might be too fast for me, and I just completely, because I have kind of full control over the roller coaster speed and all that. Whatever I ask is going to be delivered, so I have to be ridiculously careful. And it's just going to completely change me. You know how it is. A man enters a relationship, and they're completely changed. So there's a lot of nonsense, potentially, that you have to give up. And, that's a lot of stuff I see on YouTube. And potentially these are just broken-hearted single men that are producing nonsense, and that shit has to be cleaned up, man. And a lot of women are trying to be, like, squeaky clean and don't show that they're having any sort of romance with other people. They're trying to look sexy, but at the same time kind of innocent. And that's just another version of nonsense where it's just too clean, too fucking good looking, too perfect. We all know that Instagram has the reputation of being too perfect, and that's the whole point. That is not ideal for a woman to have. Again, that means that there's nothing really exciting going on. There's no dramatic twists and turns in her life, and she's just going straight line into incinerator of a normal person, because all normal people just get incinerated because they're boring to everyone else. So you don't want to live that kind of life. You want to be a little bit exciting, a little bit provocative in a way, a little bit like misunderstood, trying to express yourself in some kind of weird way. When you do get enticed into relationships, this is like the reason why Taylor Swift makes songs is most of the time people meme about it that she is breaking up with a lot of men, and every single time she breaks up, well, she has to make a new album about it or a few songs. But that's what a really attractive and really fucking honorable woman looks like. That I want to have a part of that in my life. I want to entangle myself with women like that, because that's spice right there. I don't want just a bunch of normie women who look attractive but have no ability to actually change themselves and get into trouble a little bit, get that spice on. And after you put some spice on, you can just break up with that woman and it's still gonna be the greatest relationship you ever had. Still can be a part of your collection. There's no heartbreak. You just, used each other to learn about life a little bit more. And this fight, I give it a seal of approval before I even approve anything, because it's the coolest thing. And because Deadwing kind of deserves it, I dedicate that to him. Congratulations. Let's continue now. I'm so satisfied. I still cannot recover from the most satisfying video about the bullshit that I talked about, right? Seeking pleasure. That's bullshit. How about satisfying yourself? Man, that is so cool. And welcome, you. Before you say anything to Deadwing, just say, oh. He found some cool things about you and put into the sweet spot. What a nasty Gurunext he is. I don't know, you can fucking trick him into being like, what is he doing? Making him uncomfortable in some stupid way when it's just completely innocent. I mean, it's the funniest thing to try and trick men like this. That's probably, a lot of tricks that you start learning that women are doing to men, and they just break down very easily because they're full of nonsense, right? That's the reason why you have to give up nonsense to even be able to appreciate and fully commit to a relationship that is very likely gonna completely change you and fix you in a way. Because women, again, operate in a completely different realm, and they have different values that you definitely need. I'm not gonna lie. And I'm deprived of those values for no good reason. I'm a broken man. But I think women will appreciate me more because I'm that kind of innocent. And I'm very mindful of that. So hopefully that works out for me. But, I don't want to see a bunch of single men complaining about garbage off the internet when they're very likely struggling themselves. And it's kind of shameful again. That's another reason to refer to your audience and be like, well, I want to grab a girl and feature her on my channel. It's a guilty pleasure of mine, okay? So, yes, Onision kind of tried to do that, and it didn't work out very well because he's attracted to psychologically deranged people, and he just got sucked into that. And I still appreciate that he's a different kind of person, and, it does matter how you get introduced to a person, so of course people will not like Onision because he's being laughed at right now. It's like, come on, bro.
I've rejected them in, so...
It's so weird that it's an edgy thing to even, rate people who are, underage. You can't even look into their photos. Technically, you cannot, judge them publicly on a big YouTube channel if they're underage. No, which should still, throw some red flags after, this photo that I can't retrieve right here. Fantastic stuff. But they still, not actually post, their public profiles. They just throw a picture out there. A random picture of themselves. I don't know, man. I'm not saying that this video is controversial in any way. It's just... this is where the controversy brews from, almost. the collection of videos like that. And then, mostly, obviously, just toxic relationships that he's on. Also, this spike right here is him flashing his crotch. I mean, it's ridiculous part of the video. I didn't know that happened. How did he find that?
It's so, like, planned and just so transparent. That's the best way to describe Greg, is he's just so incredibly transparent at all times. He thinks he's, like, 10 steps ahead of the game or something, but everybody sees through his bullshit.
You just have to be 2 steps ahead, and that's his personality. Alright? And by everybody, you can only see 25% of people can see through bullshit. It's just a different personality. I'm sorry if you see through the bullshit. I don't see that much bullshit, because I don't really care, you know? I don't really care if he... Yeah, what kind of nonsense Onision is into right now, because it is a lot of nonsense, a lot of problematic stuff he's dealing with. It's understandable for me. It's completely normal. It's a completely normal personality to just, overstayed its welcome on YouTube, apparently. It is what it is. And people figured out how to take him down. It's not that he did something crazy wrong, I don't think. It's just people figured out how to damage his reputation. And, they love that shit. Alright?
Life, dude. That's the really amazing thing about Onision, is, like, if he didn't put all this stupid shit out here, he did this to himself. He brought it on himself. Nobody asked him to fucking parade his, like, stupid fucking relationships around. Nobody asked him to do this shit. He was the one that decided to shove a camera in the woman.
Let's not forget that Onision is still kind of detached from society, and it's kind of cringe. Like, he doesn't have enough bros around him to help him out. He doesn't trust guys, unfortunately. And that's the sad part. This is the reason why he just feeds on the drama constantly. He doesn't know where else to go and what else to do. And just stuck on a loop. Past this point when the meltdown just was happening. Now, it's quite a question. When was it exactly? What if we pull out statistics of Google? Onision? The big moment, yeah, well, was 3 years ago. Exactly. This video is from April after the fact. No. Before. Almost like fueling the fires, man, that are about to happen. This is kind of fascinating to me. I wouldn't want to sit here, like, you would look like an enemy at this point. You would look like a disaster. Alright? Because this was it, man. This was Rebecca Black turn off the lights, basically, moment. Light switch, because, technically Onision's channel just dead at this point. If we zoom in, we get, a better perspective. Again, April is over here. A little bit of a double spike, apparently. But we start off around 6, 5, 7. Let's say 7. We end up with the 3. So the channel is kind of cut by a half afterwards. Which is very, very unusual, but this is what a light switch would look like, right? And then eventually just dies to 1%. Which is sevenfold, or like 3.5 times. It's quite phenomenal turn off of the lights, and you know. So this guy doesn't know what he's doing yet, but he's continued to play into this nonsense, right? that is about to happen. So, has his senses correct. Alright. But I don't know if you want to be an enemy of Onision. And right now, this video is very sensitive. If he watches my video, he has to be very carefully handling this. Alright, if he just watches the whole thing on stream, like, that's the worst thing he could do. Imaginable. I don't know, bro. I don't know, this is a very peculiar case, let's put it that way. I don't want to be seen. I think this guy had enough of me already. I'm not gonna give him views. He knows that much. Where's the second part, though? We have the part 3. I guess it's too hard to find, so let's not worry about that. Am I right? I could type in Onision 2. Like, he can't even organize this shit properly. Is it that fucking difficult? It's unbelievable. Alright, let's watch this video too, because now I'm on the roll. Onision needs to be protected. We need to rewind time and protect Onision before the meltdown happens. Now I'm enticed, because, like, yeah, we just found a weird pattern. So where's this video from? October, literally before. We have to double check. It was December when it spiked, so he literally senses that shit is about to go down. So this guy is not a friendly creature of the YouTube world, unfortunately. He dives into garbage to find basically dead bodies or something. This is not a friendly person. This guy literally sensed something going on and jumped immediately when it was starting to spike. Immediately, bro. I don't know if we can zoom in any. Yeah. We still can. So let's see how it aligns here. Yeah, October is like ridiculously close to the spike. Ridiculously. It's kind of like the first pre-spike, but it's almost like you know, preparation for war of some kind. They figure out a strategy of how to take down Onision, and they turn off the lights, man. Well, normally when I figure something is wrong, especially on YouTube, it should feel pretty bad. Because you don't want me to go any deeper than this. But there's a video for me to watch still. How about you guys decide? If I find hate comments, if I find that this guy is actually dangerous, based on how he reacts to this video, or something is mishandled, I will watch this video. And he probably will not like my reaction, because I can predict when something is gonna go wrong as well, and yeah. See you next time, whoever you are. Be careful out there. You don't know when the wild Onision gets damaged and cries for help, you know. And then I have to beat up a damaged bear that evolved a little bit. You saw that weird arm thing? I thought he would not be able to play with his avatar, but he did, and I'm very surprised. And I don't like where that is going. It's like, what, you got into a fight, Mr. Bear? What happened? What is the backstory behind that arm thing? Very interesting vibes that you can just send immediately, but that's why I don't do that shit. It's too much work, and then too many consequences. Bye. Bye-bye. Hope you enjoyed the show.